Hello everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David. Today's video, the great law. You always get back from others what you give them. Now, sometimes this law can be misunderstood or maybe even misinterpreted. So today's video is going to be about, let's talk about what this law means. And then I'm going to give you some processes or some ideas, some things you can implement in your own life so you can see how this law works. So hang in there. So first off, let's talk about this law. The first thing we want to ask is, what is it that we're giving? Because we can get this confusing. We think that if I give someone some money, then I'm going to get some money back from them. Or if I give them a ride, then maybe they'll give me a ride next time I'm walking down the street. So that's not how it works. What we're giving is meaning. See, the way it works is that this world, all worlds are neutral. And we are creators. And that simply means we're giving everything meaning now. And whatever meaning we give it, we experience it back in that moment. Now, because the mind, that ego mind of separation, which is consistently looking out and trying to find something different than you, it's really hard to be a creator in this environment simply because we're doing it unconsciously. We're trying to find something different in the world all the time, you see, and it's an unconscious belief system that is giving meaning to the world in the form of separation. Does that make sense? So therefore it's coming back. Now, the key is to recognize that it's coming back so much that we don't even realize that it's coming from us. We think it's coming from them. So it gets very, very confusing. So what I've learned is that you have me and you have you. Now, why is that? Because of another really important law that says the one, which is what you are, I am the one, a sovereign being of source, and also the all, which is divinely protected and divinely guided by all beings everywhere present. So we are that one individual type of being, but we're also the whole being of all that is. The one is all and the all is one. So now from that perspective, we're really good at being the one. We've just kind of let go of the all, which is that unity consciousness that we hear so much about. So that understanding of the me and the you needs to come back together, because that ego mind, that separate mind that believes it's a body, is simply walking around the world, mostly unconsciously, but finding problems or issues or yous, I call it the yous, whether if it's places, people, things, doesn't matter, the others, and saying, I don't like you, or I don't trust you, or I don't believe you. And it has this right, this righteousness, so to speak, as Jesus talked about, that idea, I'm righteous. You see, that self-righteousness about it, to say, I don't like you. So it's this battle between me and you. And we're really worried about the yous out there, are we not? Whether if it's our body, that's a you, or our money is a you, or our situations are yous, or our friends, our family, or even just people and strangers. There's this idea of the battle between the me, and the yous. And the problem is that in order for you to become the all, that unity consciousness, guess what? We need to bring those yous back to us. Do you see? Because those yous are the other side of who we are. And this is where we get stuck. So now we're just me's, and we're filled around all these different yous, and I got to worry about them, and I can't trust them, and now that mind is consistently shooting everything out and putting everything on the yous. Now the problem is that there is no true you, because you are all that is. So every time you blame the you blame, you got it. You're going right back at yourself, because they are the same. The universe does not know the difference between me and you. There's only one. So this journey is about bringing that one back together and allowing each one of us to recognize the sovereignty that we are. We are all sovereign beings connected to one source. But we each have the ability to connect to that source or not, or rather slow it down or try to stifle it from coming through. And we each are creators of our own particular experience and co-creating with that source energy. So, take that. So how do we do this? Well, by recognizing that in every situation, you are indeed giving meaning. Now, the key is not to do it unconsciously, to recognize that each time you meet somebody or even a place or even pick up a thing or whatever it is, you are indeed deciding in that moment what it's going to be for you. And you are unlocking, here it is, these potential realities within it. It's awesome. Because the more you understand there are potential realities, not one reality. Potential. And you get to decide which reality you get from that person, place, or thing. And as you decide, and I recommend make a decision based on what your source believes too, so it's positive and it feels good, then you will get that reality back and that experience back in that way. If you unlock a potential that does not feel good, then you will get that negative experience back in order for you to recognize that there's another potential that can be unlocked. You see? And the more you understand that, the more you control the potentials that you unlock from people, places, and things. Let me explain better so you can understand this. If you take a past event, and this is a process I recommend trying, so you can see this for yourself. Go back to the past, doesn't matter if it was last night or 50 years ago. Find a moment that's clear to you of maybe something that didn't work out between you and someone else. And then what I want you to do is imagine that if you would have said something differently, if you would have done it differently, what would it have felt like? And if you take that experience and you give it a new meaning, you don't have to get too specific, because trust me, if you just take, like, let's say an example of last night, me and my wife got in an argument, let's say. So now I can sit back and say, what would have happened if I wouldn't have said this one thing? And then you say, what was it? Oh, I remember I said I didn't like that. And then you change in your mind. I really love that. I really love that experience. Thank you so much. And then you play it in your mind and you will see a story come through from that, and you will literally re-experience that in this moment. And your vibration, you'll feel it in your vibration, and it will release and it will feel good. And that mind will say, yeah, but that's not true. And that's not true. What you are experiencing in that moment, even though it's in your mind, is true. I assure you, you are literally reliving that experience in a new way. It doesn't matter if it was in the past. And this is the best part. You ready? That person that you're thinking about is also receiving that information back to them, and they will have the ability to receive it as their own. Their inner being is already receiving it. See, there's only this now moment. And the more we let go of this linear idea that things are done, they're not done. They're never done. You can relive that experience. And your vibration in the moment, which is the only thing that matters, I think we all know that, is going to feel good. And you're going to enliven yourself based on changing that experience. And I recommend your inner being is going to start filling in some of the gaps. Now, why? It can't be your body mind, because your body mind only knows the past. So when you start reliving that experience from a new positive way, you're going to start receiving imaginations, things in your mind, stories. That story is not going to come from your body mind. It's going to come from your inner being. How cool is that? And it's going to fill in those gaps, and it's going to feel good. And since it's coming from your inner being and you are receiving it in that moment, it is real. It is not a memory anymore, right? It's an experience. You have created an experience, and now you're receiving it back in that moment. Now, that is one way you can use this, and I recommend try that process and try it a few different ways so you can feel it for your own. Now, another way is to do it in your life. Walk around, meet somebody, anyone, it could be a stranger or someone you know, and deliberately say something on purpose. Now, you could say something mean or something not positive, and you're probably going to get that back. But I recommend not doing that. It's not going to feel good, and you're going to have to experience it back. But you could just give them a compliment on purpose. I really love your shoes. And then watch and see. And you will see them shift and change. Thank you. Yeah, It might even strike up a conversation. And then you can say in your mind, I did that. I created that reality. You could have gone to them and not said that. You could have gone to them and told them you didn't like the shoes. Do you see? And the more you recognize, the more you realize I'm unlocking this person. Because the most of the people out there are on reactive mode. They're not awakened yet, making their own choices. So we came here to give them the choice of love and appreciation by giving it to them. And then they can recognize, and then now they can unlock their potential themselves. But as you walk around and just start giving compliments on purpose, or maybe someone says something and you say, that's a really wise thing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And watch their face shift and change. And then say to yourself, I could have said something different. You're going to start noticing that what you're giving is coming back to you. You are literally unlocking different doors of people. And then now you could do it with your food. Before you eat your food, say, I'm going to really taste this. And put it in your mouth and just take a few seconds and see if you can really taste it. And you're going to see it's different versus just putting it in your mouth. And you're going to start noticing the power that you have in the moment to unlock more and more and more expansion of positivity. And remember, only positive expansion flows back out and to you. Negative expansion you can't share with anybody, so therefore you're going to get them shut down. That's why people shut down, or they don't agree with you. They can't, you're pushing against them. So it just comes right back to you in the form of guilt. But if you give positively, you're going to share it with them. They're going to take it as themselves, and you're going to see this connection. And you're going to know, wow, I just gave that. I just chose that reality. I chose to do that on purpose. I chose to see that on purpose. And this is the experience I got. That's co-creation. You see, from a positive way. Because you don't know what's going to come back for them. It's a co-creation. But you do know that as you give positive, it's going to come back in that way, and you're going to receive it as yourself. And the more you do that, and the more you do that process of the past, you're going to recognize, wow, I am creating my experience. I'm literally co-creating my experience in every moment. And I get to decide what to give. And as I decided, I will get it back. And you're going to start feeling self-empowered. And most importantly, those past experiences that keep you stuck or maybe keep you angry and frustrated at people, you're going to say, you know what? What if I would have done it differently? Instead of what if they did it differently? It's not about them waking up. It's about you waking up. You can only wake up and recognize this if you take responsibility for how they respond. You gave it to them first. This is what a trigger is. I get that they shouldn't be triggered, but don't you want your sovereign power and your empowerment back? The only way to do that is to recognize your power or your relationship in the co-creation of what happened or what does happen, and take responsibility and change it on your own behalf in a positive way. As you give positive love and appreciation on purpose, you're going to start receiving it back. Before long, you're going to start in your mind looking at your experiences in your life and seeing them in a positive way, reliving them in a different perspective, and then pulling in different realities. Do you see? So take these two processes with you, play with them, send me some comments. I love to see how this goes. And I will see you in the next video. As always, it is up to you what you receive. Hit the like button, subscribe, and my unconditional love and appreciation.